Hi crafters, are you looking for a unique and interesting card to make that's also very easy? Well, you've come to the right place. Hi, this is Creative Moments by G and I'm G, and today we are going to make a shadow box card. What's great about this card? You only need 3 pieces. So let's get busy. The first thing you're going to need is just a regular A2 base card, and that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. That's our first piece. The next piece is the mechanism. You need to cut a piece of cardstock. Now, I would recommend that you cut it the same color as your base card. And this is 6 1/4 by 5.5. And then we need really one more piece, and this goes on the inside of the card, and we are going to cut this 4 by 5.5. So let's go ahead and get that one cut. We're just going to cut it at 4. Now, just a little tip here, if your paper is directional, you want to go ahead and pay attention to that. Now, I wanted my black and white lines to go horizontal, so I cut it at 4. And when I place it in the card, this is the way it's going to go. So just pay particular attention when you have directional patterned paper. Now, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and score our mechanism. This is the part that pops out and acts as that shadow box. So let's just give it a good score. We need to turn our paper long ways at the 6 1/4, and we're going to score a 1/2 inch and 1 inch on each side. So let's go ahead and do that. Here is 1/2 inch. I'm marking it right here. Making sure that we move our cutting blade out of the way. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch, and now we're moving it over to score at 1 inch. We're just going to take our paper and flip it. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Now let's just move our trimmer out of the way, and let's grab this paper, and I'm turning it to where our score lines are horizontal, and we're going to fold into the card, use our bone folder to give it a good crease, and fold back. And give it a good crease with your bone folder. And you see how it creates this little, kind of like a Z. We're going to turn it again, and we're going to fold in towards the middle of the card. Use your bone folder and give it a good crease, and then fold back. And this becomes our mechanism. Now, you are going to have to cut out a circle or an oval or a rectangle. Today, we are going to use these beautiful dies, and these are called Thoughtful Expressions. Now, I want to remind you, all the measurements and supplies will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com. Click on my blog, and then search for Shadow Box Card, and they'll be right there. Okay, I'm going to choose the largest one. Now, something else, I am not going to emboss this area right here, but stay with us till the end because I have 2 cards to show you where we did emboss the front panel. But what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and just put a cute little DSP on there. So I cut this as a first mat to a regular base card, and so that means I cut this at 4 1/4. So that's going to be cute. Now, before I cut the front panel using this beautiful die, I want to go ahead and lay this down. So I'm just going to spread this out. I'm going to grab my glue, and I'm just going to center this mat on the front of this card. Now, I will be making 2 cards with you today just to show you the possibilities of this fantastic design. Okay, so we have this centered exactly how we want it. Now I'm going to bring in my die that would allow me to cut out a circle right here on the front of the card. Now I'm going to center it from top to bottom and side to side. So I think I have it about right. Just going to add some removable tape and run this through my embossing machine. And let's see what that looks like. Now, just be very careful when you take this tape off. We will save this for another beautiful card, right? And look at this. Oh, don't you love that cutout? Now, I'm going to go ahead and just refold this towards the middle and back, towards the middle and back. And now I have the front of my card. So easy, right? Now I'm going to take my base card and I'm going to add this little strip that I cut. Now, as you can see, we have just a little bit on the edges right here. Don't worry about that. So we're just going to add this to the front of our base card. And now you can begin to see that it's taking shape, right? We will eventually just lay this down right here on the front of our card. Look how cute that looks. But before we do that, we want to go ahead and show you what stamp sets we're going to be using. We are using this Fluffiest Friends, and we cut out this adorable little bear with a honey pot. We also are using from Be My Valentine, You're as Sweet as Honey. That makes sense, right? Because he has a little honey jar. Fluffiest Friends has some dies with it, and it has this cute little beehive. So we cut that out along with this branch. Now I went ahead and I colored our cute little bear. Look at that. We used pecan pie and then early espresso to do a little bit of shading. Colored that honey pot red with a little bit of honey. Before we add any images, we want to go ahead and strengthen this just a little bit, just so that it doesn't bow. And let me give you a good tip for that. Go ahead and turn it upside down. Grab you a piece of acetate. Cut it 1/2 inch and cut it to the same size as your card, just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces at about 4 1/8. Okay, get this one cut to 4 1/8. And this is just going to give it a little bit of strength. Now, you don't have to do this, but you might want to. And I'm just going to add some glue right here and just put it down just like that. Now, you can also use your tape runner because you are not going to see this. So, just going to use tape runner for this one, and I'm going to put it right at the bottom. And this is just a little tip so that it can strengthen this area, because once you cut out a hole, it does weaken it just a little bit. Now, I can even feel that it's much stronger right here. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want our sentiment right here that I cut out to look like it's floating. So I cut another strip of acetate, and I am just going to put this right in the center, and I will be adding my sentiment right there, because then it'll look like it's floating in this circle. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this front over, and to make sure that it doesn't slide, sometimes when you put glue on acetate, it will slide, right? So just to make sure it doesn't do that, I am going to add tear and tape right on the ends of this. Now, like I said, you do not have to strengthen your front cover if you don't want to. You could also just put a couple pieces of cardstock here if you wanted to strengthen it. No problem. But I'm just going to put a little bit of tear and tape right there. We are going to add this to the center. Now, what's so great about this is you can position it wherever you want to. But I want mine right in the center, basically. So I'm just going to put it about right there. And now you can see that strip right there. But I'm going to go ahead and just add my sentiment right there. And it will look like it's floating. Now you can add tear and tape here. You can add just add some tape runner. I'm just going to do that. You will not see it because it's on the back of it. And just add it right there to that piece of acetate. And look at that. And I put this first because I need to know where to position my bear. I'm just going to put him about right there. And I'm going to set him up on some dimensionals. And we know that we need our dimensionals about right down here. Just going to get him positioned. And look at that. Look at this cute little guy. So cute. The next thing we want to add is our branch. Now our branch is going to come up about right there because I'm going to put the little beehive right there. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue. And I want to go ahead and get this added before I put it on my card. That way you can kind of manipulate everything and push on it. It's hard once it becomes a shadow box card to add it. So now here is the front of the hive, and I need to hang it about right there. Look at that. So I'm just going to add some glue right here. And look how cute that looks. So cute, right? Now we are ready to add it to the front of our card. So I'm just gonna put this right here. Now you will want time to kind of wiggle it around. So when you do this part, I would recommend you not using a tape runner or using tear and tape because glue will give you a little bit of wiggle room. Then we just turn it over. Make sure you have your card facing the correct way and just close this up a little bit and add it to the front. Now look how cute this is. Here's your card. You have plenty of room to write your message. Close your card. It folds down and fits nicely in an envelope and really only has a few pieces to make this card. You have your base card, you have your front mechanism, and then your inside panel. And then if you want to decorate the front, you can do that. So easy. Let's move on to the next possibility and our next card. For this card, I'm going to use painted lavender for my images. And I picked the paper that goes with that collection. And look how beautiful that is. I love that. I've also selected the cardstock, the inside panel, just to give it some interest. And then this time, I'm going to go ahead and use an oval to cut out of the front. So let's go ahead and get our card turned into an A2 card. I went ahead and I cut it at 8.5 by 5.5, and now I'm going to bring it in and score it at 4 1/4. I'm going to use my bone folder to give this a really good crease. And now I'm bringing in my mechanism. This is already cut to 6 1/4 by 5 1/2. And remember, we're just making score lines on each end. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Then we're going to flip it and score again at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So we're going to put our mechanism to where our score lines are horizontal, and we're folding into the card, just like this, and then folding back. Use your bone folder to give it a good crease. Turn it over, fold into the card, and then fold back. Give it a good crease. And now we have our mechanism. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and use this beautiful patterned paper for the front of the card. Look at that. So I'm going to add this, and then I will cut out my oval on the front. I'm going to center my oval. Top and bottom, side to side. And now I'm going to just take it through the embossing machine. Very carefully pop out this oval. Save this beautiful oval for another card. And now we're just going to fold this again. You can fold in and out. And look at that. Look at how pretty that is. Now, remember what I said. I want to go ahead and strengthen these areas just a little bit. You don't have to do this. But, you know, this is going to be on someone's desk, I know it, or bookcase, and I want it to last. I'm going to add this to the bottom. I've already cut it the exact size I need. And just add this to the top. And if you don't have acetate, use cardstock. Double your cardstock, not to worry. Now, I have also cut out my beautiful sentiment that I'm going to be using. Look at that. You're in my thoughts. And that comes from this beautiful stamp set, Softly Sophisticated. Look how pretty. So pretty. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to just add my little acetate right there and see if that's where I want to add it. Just kind of playing around with it. Now I went ahead and I stamped all my images that I'll be using from those stamp sets that I showed you. I stamped this beautiful arrangement of flowers. I'm going to have that right there. I'm going to just add some leaves. Look at that, starting to take shape. And then I'm going to cut these down and just add these just a little bit right here, just like that. So I do want this right in the middle, so let's just go ahead and add my acetate strip right in the center. Now remember, this is where I'm going to use my Terran tape, just on the sides. And the reason I don't use glue is that you do get a little wiggle, and you don't want this to wiggle at all. You want it to grab hold and really stay where you put it. So we're going to push that down. Just take off the backing. And add this right in the center. And there you have it. You can see that acetate. Okay, now I'm going to just add my sentiment so that I know where to place everything else. Just putting it right in the center. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to add my flowers on some dimensionals. I'm going to just slip this under and add some glue, just like that. Making sure that it doesn't go over this edge because that's the edge of your base card, right? Now I'm just going to decide exactly where I want my other leaves. I'm just going to snip this off. Just kind of add this. So I need a little bit of glue right here. Look at how pretty that looks. Now let's just add this to the front of our card. Here's our card. Now, before we add this to the front, we do need to add that back panel. And you don't have to add the back panel. Another tip is you could actually stamp your message right here on the back panel. Keep it as simple as you want to. But I just wanted to bring in a little bit of additional color. I'm going to add my glue to these back little tabs. Grab it, and we're just going to push it down to the front of our card. So here are the two cards that we made today. Take a moment and leave a comment. Are you Team Lavender or are you Team Honey Bear? Maudie and I would love to know. I don't know. I think they're both a little bit different, so I don't know which one I like the best. I'm just going to wait and read your comments. Now, remember I said I have two more cards to show you. Let's look at this one. Oh, don't you love this? I love this hummingbird. Now, remember I told you that I was going to show you that I embossed the front. We didn't even put patterned paper. We just embossed this area. Now, let me give you a tip on that. If you decide to emboss the front of your mechanism, you need to cut out your hole first and then emboss because you don't want your embossed area to be squished. So look at this. Look at how cute that is. And we just added some cardstock in the background. So now we have a hummingbird. And of course I had to bring this in. I realize it's daisies, but you know I love sunflowers. So it looks like a sunflower to me. Once again, I embossed this front panel after I cut out the hole. This is floating right here in the center because we added that acetate. We have plenty of room to write. So now that you have 4 more to look at, take a moment and leave a comment. Now, what team are you on? Team Lavender, Team Honey Bear, Team Hummingbird, or Team Daisy/Sunflower? Well, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope that you were inspired by this card and can see all the possibilities. You can step it up or you can keep it simple. So take a moment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Monty and I want to wish you a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.